Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are making a keto caramel bundt cake. This is a cake for my mom because her birthday is coming up and she's on the keto diet, so I wanted to make her something that she could actually eat for her birthday that would be sweet but she wouldn't be cheating. So let's get baking. To start off, we're going to add 2 cups of almond flour and half a cup of coconut flour into a bowl. Into that we'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, and half a teaspoon of baking soda. And you'll mix that well with just a whisk or fork or something like that to get it all incorporated together. Moving on to our mixing bowl, we're going to put in half a cup of butter, and to that we're going to add 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. Make sure that it's soft so it's easy to mix. And then to that we will be adding 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, half a cup of Swerve granular sugar, and 2/3 of a cup of Erythritol, and then 4 large eggs. At this point, our mixture has been mixing for 1 to 2 minutes, so we're going to add in our flour, and you will add this in slowly, and you will keep the mixer at a low setting so it doesn't overmix at all. And then to the flour, once it's all in, we're going to add in 1 cup of sour cream. Now that our batter is done, we're going to spray down our bundt pan really well to make sure that the cake doesn't stick to it, and then it's off to bake it. One thing I'll add is if your oven runs a little too hot and the top of the cake starts to get too brown, you can put tinfoil over it to stop it from getting too dark, but I didn't have any problem with that. And you're going to cook it at 350 for 50 to 55 minutes until a golden brown. For our keto caramel, we're going to melt half a cup of butter over medium-ish heat. You can actually put it on high just to get the butter melted and then turn it back down to medium. And I actually had a lot of trouble with the caramel. I burnt it on my first try, so my mom is doing this right now and she's talking me through the process. But what you're doing is you are evaporating the sort of water part of the butter until all that's left is sort of the fat. And you're boiling it, and you want to make it become a really light golden brown color, and you need to be very careful not to burn it, so you're going to be stirring it constantly, and just keep an eye on it. When the butter starts to boil, that means that the water part is starting to evaporate, which is good. That means that you're doing it right and you're not burning it, but you still need to be very attentive to it. And when the butter starts to sort of expand, that means that the water has been completely evaporated and it's getting to the next stage, which is this, where it starts to get a very light colored brown, and it's kind of difficult to see because of the bubbles, so you have to really sort of eyeball it. And then you're going to add in a 1/3 cup of erythritol and 1 teaspoon of liquid stevia, and stevia is pretty strong, so you could adjust that to what you like. And then just stir and stir and stir until the sugars are melted in the butter. Now your goal is to just continue mixing and get your mixture to a simmer and then a rolling boil, and that is going to thicken the butter and sugar mixture and caramelize it. It's going to just make it more like caramel, and then once it gets to a rolling boil, you'll be ready to add in your heavy cream. As you can see here, my mom is pausing a couple seconds just to check in on the caramel, and you can see that the bubbles are starting to form and it's starting to sort of, expand and rise out with the bubbles, and that means that you're almost there. Just hold on a little bit. You just want to get it a little darker color, brown, and the bubbles start to get going, and then you're going to add in half a cup of heavy cream. Add that in very slowly, and you might need some help. Get a friend to help you out with this part, and you're going to stir constantly while you add in the heavy cream. Now you're going to simmer this again on a lowish heat and stir it constantly to make sure it doesn't stick or burn. And you're just going to get it all incorporated and get it thicker. And then once it's, it looks like decent caramel, you'll take it off the burner and you'll pour it into a dish to cool it. My thoughts and notes on this recipe is, when you're melting and browning the butter, that is like the most important stage to really have an eye on the butter and to make sure that you catch it right as it's starting to brown and not a little bit too late, because once you get past a certain point, it's ruined, it's burnt, it's not going to taste good. But once you get past that part, it's pretty good. And we added some vanilla for taste, about a teaspoon I believe, and you just mix it in, and then we poured it into a tempered bowl. Tempered just means that we ran hot water through it so it wouldn't crack from the heat of the caramel. And then you're going to let this cool for 20 minutes. For additional toppings and such, we whipped up half a cup of heavy cream. We didn't add any sweetener to it because we felt like the caramel would be sweet enough and the cake itself. But if you wanted any, you could add a teaspoon or two of your preferred sweetener for this. For decorating, I'm just drizzling the caramel in a zigzag fashion over the cake, and I made a little bit of a mess, but that's fine. And it's sort of easy to drizzle. Sometimes it comes out in clumps, but that's okay. And then after cleaning up, I'm going to just pipe some little, pipettes, little piles of whipped cream all around the cake. And it's sort of uneven now that I see it from this overhead view, but that's fine. My mom loves it anyway. It was really delicious, and I think this cake was really good. So here is a slice of the final product. It was an absolute hit at my mom's birthday party, and it is keto friendly, and it doesn't have an ounce of normal white sugar or brown sugar or anything. So let's try a bite. This is delicious. It's a little bit vanilla-y, and we decorated it with, we made our own keto caramel, and then we topped it with just some whipped cream. It didn't have any sugar or anything in it. It was just straight up heavy whipping cream, and then some ground pecans, and it's really good. And it doesn't really taste all that weird. Stevia is a little strong, so I would warn you to use it sparingly. But other than that, this cake is amazing. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to see more baking videos, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Hey guys, takes 173 action.
Here is a slice of the final product. It was an absolute hit.
You do. So here's the final product.
But this is just a slice of the actual cake. So, shut up.
Look.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Put it in there. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? What's going on? What are you doing? So you're putting it in the oven?
Now you're being funny.